All right, everybody, Antique Motorcycle Revival. I want to take just a second and thank all of you that have liked and subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate you helping us out with that. I want to talk this evening for just a few minutes about some misnomers. I hear a lot of different things, and that people will say things, and I'm like, well, that's not really not accurate, you know. And I'll give you an example. One of them is and people say this to me all the time when they come in here, a suicide shifter. So, you know, they say, I see it's got a suicide shifter on it. Well, the truth of the matter is there's no such thing as a suicide shifter, okay? Suicide shifters don't exist, okay? I'm gonna go over the different kind of shifters with you for just a second, but that one doesn't exist, okay? This is a tank shift, which is my favorite, personal favorite, by the way. And I sold a Sportster a couple of years ago that I had put, and I'm gonna put one on that one out there, a jockey shifter. So if you can do it on these, you can put a shifter down here, you know, like on the panhead, they will put them right there, especially the choppers and stuff. And they'll have a shifter here, and you can just reach back and shift it. I had one on the Sportster on the other side, and that's pretty cool setup. And but that's a jockey shifter, okay? Tank shifter, jockey shift, and then over here on the pan, which will not be for long because I got everything together to change it out. That's why I've got this on there. But then that's a foot shifter, just a normal foot shifter. So pretty soon, this one in the next couple months, it'll be tank shift. So anyway, that's one of the misunderstandings. Where the term comes from is the word suicide clutch. Now that does exist. There is a suicide clutch. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I've actually got one. I'd have to dig it out over there that's set up as a suicide clutch, and I thought about putting it on that Sportster. That I got a 73 iron head that I'm going to build out of coal mining stuff. It's going to be a tribute to coal mining. I'm an old coal miner, so I'm going to put roof bolts for handlebars and the battery on the back. It'll be a cool setup, but it'll have a jockey shift on it and a suicide clutch. Now this one right here is not a suicide clutch. This is a rocker clutch, okay? So when you're riding it, you're pushing the clutch in, and on a Harley Davidson, toe to go, okay? That spring holds it in place. All right, so here's the thing about that. If you take the spring off and you go down, you go with it like that, then it's going to automatically it's going to automatically engage on you. So when you release it like this without the spring, it would automatically do that. That's why they call it a suicide clutch, because if you pull up to a red light and your foot slipped off of that, the bike's going to take off right through the light. And so it's a suicide clutch. But this is a rocker clutch. Without the spring, it's a suicide clutch. Tank shift, jockey shift, and then, of course, the foot shift over there that everybody's familiar with. And one more thing, and so I'm shipping, as we speak right now, our motorcycles are on their way. We're actually shipping them to California, and we're going to ride the coastline all the way to the northern part, and we're going to ride all back that way. It's 3,600 miles is what our trip will be. Be a pretty cool trip. But all my clothes is in it. Hardly have anything. Everything's in the bike, including my helmet. And I was going to ride. I got this small helmet here, peanut helmet, not legal by the way, but in Kentucky it doesn't matter. But this one over here is another misnomer, okay? This is a German helmet, and you can kind of see the German style of them. I think they make a couple different ones, longer and stuff like that. But that's sort of the style of this one. And I've had people ask me before, because I'm a Christian, you know, and I've told everybody that before, does it bother you to wear a German helmet? And I said, well, no, it doesn't bother me. I think the reason it bothers people sometimes is because they misunderstand the history behind it. When our guys went over to World War II, okay, we were engaged in 2 theaters at the same time, South Pacific, and Germany. When they defeated Germany, they brought back, especially the guys that raced, the wrecking crew, for instance, for Harley Davidson, all them guys, they brought back these helmets from Germany as booty. You know, and so they would ride these with these helmets on, just kind of saying, hey, you know, we won, basically. And so that's what that's all about. And so now it doesn't bother me to have it. I will say this, I rode with this thing a minute ago, and it keeps the sun out of your eyes and off your ears, and I like it a lot. It's actually pretty nice. But anyway, that's another misnomer. So suicide clutches, yes, suicide shifter, that's a misnomer. This is misunderstood for sure. And just want to go over a few little things like that, and to give you a little bit better understanding. Got my buddy's Honda, I think it's a, what is this, a 89 or something like that. It's it hasn't been run in years, and so I'm gonna take the carburetor apart for him, gas tank, and clean it up and clean the carburetor and see if I can't get it running. May make a video on it. Try to get it going for him maybe next week, and before we take off to California on our trip this year. So there you are, everybody. A few misnomers, pretty common stuff that just, you know, I think is a misunderstanding, and thought we'd just do a short video on that. Like I say one more time, I appreciate everybody's like and subscribe to the channel, and we just appreciate you a lot. I've been riding the pan a whole lot today. I've rode quite a bit, and got a couple of oil leaks, and I'm gonna be the first to admit that. I think my tappet blocks are leaking over here on the front, and my valve pan on the front is leaking a little bit. And it's discouraging because I went through great pains with that stuff. I cleaned it to a shine, put new gaskets, put a thin film of Permatex on it on each side, and snugged them down the right way and all that, and they still leak. So that's discouraging, everybody. But what I'm thinking about doing is taking a rag and wiping the oil off every now and then and riding it till this winter, and then I may tackle trying to get that leak stopped again, because I won't be able to stand it. I had all the leaks stopped on that 45 that I just sold. It didn't leak oil anywhere, and so we're gonna stay after this thing. But now, as far as running, and it's dialed in. It's dialed in. So there you are, everybody. Some misnomers, Antique Motorcycle Revival, and we will see you soon.